What you put you? Get up, good. Again, come on. Good, come on.
What up, though, everybody? This is Kyle, and you are watching Knockouts and 3 Counts. And as you can see, this isn't the live video you're used to maybe on Facebook. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Well, if you've read the title, you already know what we're talking about, but we've got the return of Mando El Torro Gutierrez. How you doing, brother man?
Good, baby. We're chilling.
Throw out that social media real quick. Let them know where they can find you.
El Torro Guttierrez on Instagram, Mando Gutierrez MMA on Facebook, Mando Goes for Gold on Twitter. I actively post on all three. You know, you can't really miss what I'm doing.
We're going to get into that, too. Corey, thank you for joining us once again, brother man. Throw out your social media and all that good shit.
As always, the only thing I use, Twitter, Fight Fan from 313. Y'all know what it is. Let's get back to it.
Hey, man, we were just talking about that. If it weren't for the fact that we do this show, dude, I would not have social media, I swear to God.
No. Dude, it's yeah, like, honestly, people don't believe me when I say this, but I swear, I hate social media. But the game's changed, baby. Whatever you got to do to be the best, this is a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a different part of the game. Like, you gotta have the social media tips so people know who you are. You know, people follow you. People buy shirts, buy tickets. That's how you make money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how you make money. It's how you get sponsors. So you gotta, if you gotta put up you gotta put up numbers on that side of the game. So that way you can put up numbers on the other side of the game. It all goes hand in hand.
So let's talk about that. That goes into something that I was telling Corey, when I was letting him in on what's up with you as far as, your career thus far. Tell me a little bit about that with social media. You just said you don't like social media, but, I read an article, I forgot who it was written by, but you were named as one of the top 5 regional prospects to follow on social media.
That was on the Scrap. Shout out to them. They're super cool. But that was like one of the weirdest. Like it was so random. Like they didn't tell me that was gonna happen or anything like that. It just kind of, they posted it up one day and I was like, oh hell yeah, that's kind of cool. It's cool to get that recognition because I put a lot of time and effort into it. I really just try to connect with all my people. Because obviously, like, I'm not living where I'm from. All my people back home, they really want to stay in touch with me and stuff like that. So, I mean, to me, it's normal. To me, it's every day. Like, that's what I'm doing. But to other people, that's not normal. People that don't do it. I mean, that's the best way I could explain it is I've never really thought it was my life is that entertaining or that crazy. But a couple people have said to me, like, oh, it's not entertaining to you because you live it every day. Like, but somebody who doesn't, they might find interest in that. So that's why I try to stay on it.
I was gonna say, man, because you put a lot of time into your social media. Was that something like you've always just been good at, or did you just do your thing and people are just along for the ride?
Well, I mean, shit, I went to school for marketing, so I better use it for something. I mean, I'm out here. I went to school for marketing, and I'm out here getting punched in the face. So you know what I'm saying, like. I mean, I gotta figure something out. I gotta use it, put it to good use. So
see, now this is the second interview we've had with you, and I didn't know that. So
really,
hell, I might have to hit you up once we get done with this and talk to you.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my thing, man. I mean, I've been finding a lot more joy in it now, but my problem is like. I hate that I have to be on my phone all day. I don't hate connecting with people. Everybody knows me, everybody that knows me knows I love to talk. I love to hang out with people. I love to connect with people. And I love to socialize and stuff like that. But I don't like being on my phone all day. I don't like being not present with the people around me. If I'm just sitting there on my phone, that's my biggest pet peeve. I hate it. But it's a part of the game. You got to do it.
So if you want to change your name nowadays, man, that's the only way to go about it. I mean, look at how big of a difference there was in the pay-per-view this last weekend just because Jorge jumped in compared to Burns. I mean,
yeah, no, it's a big deal, dude.
Yeah, the fanfare is a giant part of it.
Hell yeah.
So did you watch the fights last night?
Oh yeah, dude, I watched them all.
What'd you think?
The main card was actually really good, man. To me personally, I think Rose and Andrade really stole the show. You know,
That was a great
they
fight.
put on a damn good fight. I thought Rose was gonna start picking her apart again, just like last time, just touching her up. But I mean, Jessica didn't come to lose, and you could definitely see that. You know, that's why I like the energy. A lot of people don't know how they feel about the fights right now. I like the energy. I like the vibe. I like the no fans. I like the added variable that you don't know how serious their training was, or you know how beneficial it was, or how intense it was. So like it's bringing a whole extra dimension to the game right now, and motherfuckers are showing up the scrap, man. People are trying to get that money, so it's cool to see.
So, did Holloway win, or did Volkanovski win?
Holloway won, bro.
Thank God that I'm not the only one saying it, Corey. I know you did too, but man, I saw Ariel Helwani come back earlier, and he goes, "You need to watch that fight again." Volkanovski won. I'm like, I don't see it.
No, I feel bad, bro, because the first time, yeah, I mean, he lost. He clearly lost the first round or the first fight.
Sure, no problem there.
He lost every round by sport. He didn't lose it by fight. He lost it by sport, which is a big difference. And in the second fight, I really do think he started off hot and he just kept it rolling. You know, I think those 2 takedowns at the end were some shit, but like you can't penalize him. Here's my big pet peeve. There's nothing in this world that I hate more than a striker that can't wrestle and a wrestler that can't strike. And you can't penalize Max Holloway, who's not a wrestler, for going out there and pressing the action. He got taken down, but I feel like I come from a wrestling background. Obviously, everybody knows that. In freestyle wrestling, there's this thing called a slip. So if you initiate the move and you don't toss him and you land on bottom, they stand you up because the dude didn't put in work to get that. It just happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they need to change the rules. I'm just saying
that shouldn't count as a takedown.
Yeah, just because he's on his back doesn't mean he got taken down.
Well, not to mention, did you peep when they said I forgot which one said it. Somebody specifically said that was the first clean takedown of the fight. I'm like, clean takedown.
Yeah,
Matt was trying to take him down and tripped.
Yeah, there was no clean takedowns, man. That's like, honestly, the 5th round got away from him a little bit. But here's the problem with those 4th and 5th rounds. It goes both ways. It's a slippery slope. Because think about it this way. If there wasn't a time and you're winning the 5th round, beating the dog piss out of somebody that beat you for 4 rounds and there was no timer, who's going to win that fight? The dude that's fucking pulling off at the end. So that's one end of it. But the other side of the spectrum is you beat his ass for 3 rounds, 3.5 rounds, maybe even 4 rounds. He has a really decisive 5th and final round. And for a ref that doesn't know shit, that's fresh in their mind. Of course they're going to think that he won because it's fresh in their mind.
See, we were talking about that last night when we were watching the fights. I've said this for a long time. Joe Rogan's also been very vocal about it, that there needs to be a live scoring, but there needs to be change to the scoring as a whole, right? So for me, I originally came from boxing. So like I understand there's the 10-point must system and all that, but with MMA, I don't feel that works because like you just said, that counts as a takedown, but he didn't really do anything.
Exactly.
Or
there was no control even. Like, I mean,
yeah. He was just there. Like, he just landed on top, and then he didn't do any damage. He stood right back up.
Or
yeah,
here's another one.
Up in 10 seconds. I mean,
what if you get a judge who doesn't know anything about jiu-jitsu, and you got a guy who, he's on his back the whole time, but he's throwing up arm bars, triangles, omoplata, whatever. And maybe the guy stays in the guy's guard, but how does that other guy not get points for submission attempts?
Exactly. If you're just sitting there and just framing, not doing anything, that's one thing. But if you're out there actively looking for submissions, clearly you're doing something. Whoever's on like busy, that's who should win the fight. And I'm an output type person. I don't give a shit. Like, output is the king of this game. I don't care. Damage is important, yes, but I like output. Output is key. And if you're staying busy, I don't care if you're on your back all 5 minutes. Like, give me the guy that's on his back throwing elbows the entire time. Every time Masvidal hit the ground, that motherfucker was trying to get up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't penalize him. Like, obviously, yeah, this lay and pray ass dude is on top of him, but I mean, he was staying busy. Like, you can't penalize him for that.
See, but then there's the flip side too, where it's like you know this better than any. You got the fight fans that don't know, and they're like, "Well, Usman fought soft." I'm like, "Well, dude, when you know you got a guy like Masvidal who
you got to fight the way you got to fight. Yeah.
The only chance he's got to beat you is to knock him out. Why the hell am I going to kickbox with him?" They said, and then you heard people say, "Well, he did it with Colby Covington." Colby Covington was a wrestler first.
Yeah, no, he was a wrestler too. Yeah, that's the thing. The way I saw it is this: my money was with Kamaru because I knew he was going to pull it off because he digs real deep. I'll give him that. But I just, like I said, like lay and pray should not be awarded as much as it is. If you're not putting up real damage, if you're not really actively trying to win that fight, rather than just stapling somebody against the side of the cage and just sitting there and scoring points, I mean, at some point the ref has to step in on that. Which also goes back to refs that really know what they're doing and judges that really know what they're doing. You know? Because at the end of the day, yeah, you know, he won the fight, but he played the game that he had to play to win. But I do feel for Masvidal because, you know, he was trying to get him off him. He was trying. Also, I mean, the cardio played a variable in that too and everything else. But, I mean, it is what it is. All in all, it was a good fight either way. But I just like output. I hate when people just are okay with just squeezing wins out like that. It's just, at the end of the day, this is the entertainment business, baby. You got to win fights, but you got to make it look good. Like, that's the point. Like, don't get it twisted. You're not this big shot because you're not this big shot because you had a lot of people behind you in your first, your first fight for the belt. Both times you fought for the belt was against someone more dislikable than you. So, of course, they were going to root for you. The one time that you fight somebody that people like, no one wanted you to win. Why? Because you're boring. It's a real thing.
Hey, man, you just keep setting me up, man. See, that's why these are easy interviews. Mando is about that action. He's going to be back in action this Friday for LFA. First of all,
next Friday.
Next Friday.
24th, yeah.
24th. Got my days fucked up. I'm just excited to see you fuck somebody up. Anyways, we've been rocking with you for a minute, man. We told you it wasn't going to be that long before we'd be seeing you up here. And look, here you are with LFA. First of all, tell me about your thoughts on this fight with LFA. What are your thoughts on the opportunity and the platform fighting on UFC Fight Pass?
Man, it's a dream come true. Like, obviously, it's the first of many dreams to come true because, like, at the end of the day, you know, the dreams don't work unless you do. So I've been putting in the work, and good shit happens to those who work hard. And, you know, I feel like I deserve it, and I feel like now's the time. So now isn't the time to be happy or be complacent. Like, now's the time to work even harder because I got what I was asking for, and now it's time to go out there and show them why I deserve this shot. And, like, I keep telling coach, like, this is like when you're at work and the big boss shows up, you know, the owner's there. It's your chance to look good. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go out there. And in a really unsure time where a lot of people don't know what's going on, a lot of people aren't training, everyone's finding excuses, I'm here getting better than ever. So this is my opportunity to go out there and show people why people are talking about me, you know? Like, I work my ass off and people know that. So hopefully if everything goes as planned, you know, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to take this dude's head off, and people are going to see that, I mean, this ain't no facade. I'm here for real, you know? So I'm super excited. It's gonna be a big fight. I watched the first show that they just put out last week, and you know, it really set the tone. Those guys came to scrap, so I'm ready to go out there and put on a show the same way. Make no mistake, I'm coming to make it be a highlight reel. I'm coming to put a show on.
Did you see that nasty knee, bro?
Yeah, I actually know Boston. I train at his gym when I'm out in Vegas because he's from Extreme Couture. And I was rooting for him. You know, I was watching the fight. I thought that was fucked up. It's in the heat of the moment, yeah, but he was clearly down. You can't do that, man. If you're a professional, you cannot do that, especially a professional with 26 fights. The dude was 16-10. There's no way you don't know that.
Yeah, at that point, there's no excuse, man. You've been in this for years, man. You know what the rules are.
Exactly.
There isn't that many. It ain't that hard to follow, you know.
Exactly, bro.
Well, Corey, I've been flapping my gums for a minute. Be all means, sir.
Well, I mean, like he was just saying, man, that's a hell of a platform, and it's a hell of a step in the right direction. And I mean, just going through the record, I mean, completely undefeated through the amateurs, now undefeated through the pros, working your way up into a, you know, more name recognizable organization. I mean, like you said, man, the work's showing off. It's, you know, you're making steps in the right direction. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I mean, you know, that's always been the goal, you know, like everything is by design. Like Coach likes to say, you know, this isn't by mistake. This is by design. Like everything that every step we've taken, every move we've made, there's been a plan behind it. And, you know, we put that plan to action. We work hard and we call our shots and we make shit happen, you know. This has been the plan. This is all according to plan to me. I want to go out there. Like, I've been training with better and better guys. I've been getting a whole lot better, and, you know, it's just another step in the right direction. I'm gonna go out there and show people like what I'm really about, you know. I've like, this is the first time where I truly am just I'm really happy. Like, I'm completely at peace with my preparation and everything I've done, so I'm ready to go out there and put on a serious show.
So my question for you with that, like you said, I mean, it's a huge opportunity, and it's obviously not coming in maybe the most optimum of circumstances, being that we're in pandemic and all that stuff.
I don't know, man. This is some pretty optimum shit to me, if you ask me, man. I think this is the best case scenario. Honestly, I see everybody else, and they're complacent with their training because, you know, they're getting what they can. And me, I maximized everything. Downstairs, like right underneath this floor that I'm on right now, is like probably the best gym I've ever trained in. I got my mats down there. I got the bags. I got Thai mitts. I got mitts. I got my like heart rate monitors. I got a TV setup for like all my like heart rate monitor shit. Like absolutely everything I could need. I got 2 stationary bikes, treadmill, everything you could possibly think of. And we've just been going down there and getting to it. Like, we've been getting a lot better. Me and my roommate have been doing a lot of work, and this is the best I've ever felt. This is the biggest jumps I've ever made, and I'm just like super, super excited. So to me, this is best case scenario. You lock me in a house and you tell me I can't do shit. This is the only thing I'd want to be doing, you know? And a big thing for me is like being thankful for being able to do this, you know? So like I go into practice every day. I don't go to practice and I don't train to get through it. I train to get better. You know, a lot of these guys, they train to get through it and train to, you know, feel like they did something, but not me. I do it to get better every single day, and I make adjustments. So I'm gonna go out there. I guarantee you, Jeff Jepssen ain't doing what I'm doing. There's absolutely no way, and that's a big, big luxury to have in a fight, because I know in my mind that I've done everything I can to be ready, and I know he hasn't. So there's no doubt in my mind that if I'm at 100 and he's at 100, he don't stand a fucking chance. So I'm ready to get it.
That, I mean, dude, that sums it up. I couldn't have really said it any better, man. You know, you've been on a tear, like I said, for a while. Obviously, like he said, you've been undefeated and all that. With you seeing things like Fight Island and all this coming for the UFC, I mean, what are your thoughts on where the MMA game goes from here? Like, post, you know, all this COVID stay home stuff, or what do you think that new norm looks like?
Dude, all this is really weird. It almost feels kind of like post-apocalyptic to me. It's really weird. Like, personally, nothing's changed for me. You know, I've been doing the same thing, still training my ass off, still doing my thing. I still got my teammates with me. The only thing that changed is the circle got a little smaller. I'm only working with the people that are like extremely necessary for me to get better, and that's pretty much all I've been doing. Just, if you ain't making me better and you don't want to be here, don't be here. And that's exactly the way I'm seeing it. Like, I'm not necessarily cutting people off, but I'm just like, if you're not bringing something to the table, I don't need you here eating. So we've just been working, we've been training, we've been doing all the right shit, and I feel like all the elites are really starting to show. All the people that are really living this life are really starting to show. People are getting their chances, and some people are shitting the bed, and other people are making something out of those chances, and that's the best way to be, because if you give me a shot, I'm going to shine every single time because I deserve it. I work for it. I earn it, you know? And there's a lot of people out there that aren't doing that. So they're getting these shots and they're going out there and getting knocked the fuck out. And that's exactly what happens when you're not ready. If you're a professional, you got to be ready.
So you were talking about that, you know, since you've signed with Iridium, now you've got the shot here with LFA, but I know you've also been training in Vegas with another past guest of our show, Cody Stamen, who's getting ready to fight this Wednesday in the UFC at Fight Island.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on getting those different looks? You went during pandemic, right?
Yeah, I went during, I went before. I try to go for a week every month. Like that's been definitely like a destination spot that I've been going a lot. And you know, it's just really nice to go out there. I found my group of guys, Las Vegas Fight Team. Shout out to them. I found my group of guys, you know, that I really like. I love them to death, and I love getting to work with them. I'm in a good groove. You know, I hit the ground running once I get there. It's not like a transition phase where I got to see how they're training and get with the program. Like I just get to it and hop right in there and get right at it.
So is that something where you can see yourself? Do you ever see yourself making the full switch, or do you think you'll kind of bounce them back?
Honestly, I think. See, the thing with me is, I used to say it was a loyalty thing between me and Coach Joaquin,
right?
But I think it's a lot past that. You know, I think messing with Joaquin is like the reason I'm here. We're just that's the perfect guy to be in my corner, and that's the perfect guy to be like next to me, telling me what to do. And if he's listening to this, I hope he knows like how much I care for him and love him. Like I'm super thankful that he took me in and taught me everything I know. And you know, we got good chemistry as a student and as a coach. So I'm never gonna switch up on him regardless. But I do think that I'm gonna start taking like bigger jumps and being out there for longer periods of time. You know, I'm gonna start splitting a lot more time out there and spending more time getting better with those guys. Because at the end of the day, it's nice to see where I stack up with the best in the world. But I'm always gonna be right here learning with Coach. You know, like that's always gonna be my home. Like my home's always gonna be with Joaquin, and he's always gonna be in my corner. That's somebody I have to have there because he's a big part of the success that's been happening. You know, it's not by mistake. Everything's been a lot of this has been because of him and because of me. You know, I work hard, but he if he tells me run through a wall, I'm gonna do it because that's just how we do. I have that much trust in him.
Well, dude, and for all the haters on the internet, they're gonna say, "Oh, he's trying to get him to jump ship." No, I asked that question because, like you mentioned, there's a lot of people that are coming out of Michigan who have been getting their shots in the UFC, whether it be Miles, who was a long time ago. You got Justin James, who's out there at Extreme Couture where you've been going. Or, you know, Cody's out there now.
Don't forget Vince Murdoch, too.
Yeah, Murdoch, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't mean that in a way like, oh, yeah, you know, blah, 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 leave your home team. I ask because a lot of guys have done that. So just to clarify,
of course.
Nobody trying to switch up. I know you know that, but there's always, you're trying to get him to leave Murcielago. No, I wasn't. Call them your tits, bro. Call them your tits. But
it's a part. It is a big part of the game. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, you can get all the best work in the world, you know, with the best pad holder here and there. But at the end of the day, you got to see where you stack up with those guys, you know, and then it's the luxury of being able to see where you stack up with the best in a setting outside of a hostile environment and locked in a cage, you know, I'll take it. Like, if I can see where I stack up with these guys in practice, that's good enough for me. You know, that's what I want to see. Obviously, I want to be prepared when the time comes because I'm training to beat the best. So why would I not train with the best to see what that feels like? So it's not foreign to me when I'm in there with the killer. You know, when I'm in there with one of those guys that's, you know, top level that comes from one of these big boy gyms. That's the thing is like, it's becoming the norm for a lot of guys. Like, for example, like my teammate, Troy, he splits a lot of time with Hard Knocks 365 down in Florida, and he comes back up and finishes his camps here. And that might be something that I might start doing. But, yeah, like I said, I'm always going to be having to rock with Mercy just because, like, that's just a big part of what I like. He's the biggest reason I'm here. He's the one that showed me everything. So I owe it to him, and I owe it to myself to, you know, stay true to him because he's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. So
you brought up a good question that I didn't even think about before you said that. In that you mentioned how, you know, you're trying to go 1 week a month out to Vegas to Extreme Couture and things like that. With the current circumstances, like we got them, like with COVID and all that stuff, and obviously you're not able to fight right now. I mean, how are you staying afloat right now? Are you, you know, like, are you doing stuff on the side? Or like, I only ask because, like I said, that shit ain't cheap, bro. And unless you've got full sponsorship payoff, I mean, that shit can't be easy, especially in a time right now where you can't go fight and, you know, make some money.
I mean, I'm blessed that I have a job where I can do it absolutely anywhere I want to do it. Whenever I'm hurting for money, you know, I can just pick up the clippers and do what I do because people know me all over when it comes to that. I got clients wherever I go. I can cut hair anytime. And I'm just blessed that I've been able to save a good amount of money. Like, I've just tried to play my cards right from day one. And, you know, I work really hard. I still get my clients in every single day. Well, obviously not right now with this whole COVID stuff going on. But you know, I like, thank God that I've been able to save a good amount of money to hold me over during all of this. And I've been on unemployment since I haven't been cutting hair, and I'm a 1099, so I was able to luckily get that as well. And you know, I've just been putting my time to good use. I mean, I just don't want to sit on my ass and not do anything. So this just showed me that like, you know, if I did, and which I have, put all my eggs in one basket and completely focus on training and not do anything else, I'd still be completely okay. And, you know, thank God for my sponsors as well that have been helping me out a shit ton. You know, I'm just trying to stay busy. And they know that. They know their money ain't going to no waste. It's going to a good cause, and they know that I'm putting it to good use because I'm out here training my ass off regardless. They don't have to worry about me. They don't have to babysit me or anything like that.
See, and I respect that. That's why I asked that question, because in our first episode we had you on, you know, you were telling us a little bit about the grind that you put in to do that. And like I said, it's a whole nother thing right now where we're at for everybody. So I just figured that'd be cool to shed a little bit of light on that. Corey, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but another thing that's real interesting, obviously we talked about the fights last night, and you've got a new 135 champ in Peter Yan. What are your thoughts on the 135 pound division now with Henry Cejudo being retired, if he stays retired? And what do you think of the 135 division?
To be completely honest, Aljo's the best dude in that division, 100%. Aljo's unbelievable. He's super good. Aljamain Sterling he's beating everybody. He has the track record. He has everything he needs to be a champion. And what more does the dude have to do? I feel like that's just blatantly disrespectful. In my opinion, the two best guys fought for a regular main event on a card when it should have been. When it should have been a belt fight, you know, this should have been this fight this past weekend. I mean, I show credit where credit's due. Peter Yan is a dog, and he's one of the best in the world for sure, but he ain't the champ. I feel like it ain't gonna be a good night for him and Aljamain Sterling. That I hold Aljo really highly because I see him training, I see him working, I see the kind of level, you know, I see his output, I see everything that he does, and I mean, he has my utmost respect, but definitely there's a lot of killers in that division, you know. On any given day, anybody can beat anybody in that top 15. All those dudes are good, so it's just a matter of who brings their best 15 minutes that day and who makes shit happen. But honestly, my pick is Aljo for number one. I think Marlon is the number one contender. The way everything's sitting right now, when he gets back from his injury or whatever it is that he had, I think Aldo still deserves that respect. But you know, the clock don't stop for nobody, and I think he's a little past his time. You know, obviously mentally he might be able to handle the strain, but his body might not be able to handle it the same anymore. You never know what it may be. You got Frankie Edgar coming back down, so we're gonna see what he looks like down at this weight class. Pedro Munoz, don't forget about him. Like I'm a student of the game, man. I study the fuck out of these fights, and I watch all of those guys, and I think they all pose a threat. You know. And obviously, you can't forget about my dark horse, Cody Stamann, because I know everything. I see everything he does. I see his output. I see absolutely everything he puts into this game. And that dude is bound to be a fucking champion, dude. Champion mindset, champion attitude, champion everything. That kid is a fucking man. And he works his ass off, and he does everything right. So, you know, at some point, something's got to give, and he's going to win his fucking belt because it's just meant to be. You know, he works his ass off. He deserves it.
Can't argue any of that. Corey, you got anything?
Yeah, actually, I got a quick question for our boy here, Mando. So we were talking just before we started recording about all this, that this is actually your first fight at 35. And
oh, yeah.
How, you know, the weight cut was affecting you and how it actually wasn't affecting you as much as you might have thought. I know we just kind of did a whole breakdown of the UFC 135. But is that where you're kind of eyeing in the future, as your future, should I say? Or maybe potentially further down the line, packing on a couple pounds, working back up to 45? What's kind of the intention there?
I feel like now, my attitude's changed a lot in the game, When I first started this, I didn't even think I was going to make 45. I thought I was a 55er. I was super dense. And the thing is, like, the big thing for me, like, let me backtrack a little bit. The big thing for me is my mentality. When I first started this, I was looking at the game like, oh, I'm young, I still got a lot to learn. I still got a lot to do. I still got a lot to see. And then as time progressed, it started turning into, hey, I can touch this guy. Hey, I can take this guy down. And now it's like, hey, I'm touching this guy's chin. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm doing this. And then now it's progressed to the level where I'm watching these guys on TV and I'm like, I could fucking beat this guy. I can beat this guy if I put together my best 15 minutes. Shit, I could finish him. You know what I'm saying? Like, my confidence is through the roof, but that's just because of the work that I've been putting in. I try not to lie to myself. I try to stay as humble as possible, but at the end of the day, I work really fucking hard, and I feel like, when I string together my best, when I'm really clicking and firing on all cylinders, I'm a problem for a lot of people. So I've been watching the game a little bit different now. And, I tend to not give people – I don't give people, like, that utmost respect that I used to give where, like, I would come in real soft when we're training. Now I'm just training regular, same with them, and I feel them out. They feel me out. And, they step back a little bit, too, because they're starting to feel me. This motherfucker's starting to bite back now, It's not the same thing it was when I first started, So for me personally, I think until the day I get signed to the UFC, until everything comes to fruition, I don't mind what weight that I'm at. I still feel like I'm a solid size 45. I don't think I'm small by any means. I still want to fight at 45. I told Friendo that I want to fight I want to be lights out champ. I want to win the 35 belt and the 45 belt and, steamroll into the UFC when the time comes. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just a kid with some big ass, like, crazy ass ambition. I just really want to do absolutely everything. If I see somebody do it, I want to do it better. That's just the kind of person I am. And I just got some crazy ass goals. I just want to beat everybody, make it to the UFC, do my thing in the UFC, stay super active, keep winning fights, and just keep putting my name out there. Like, I love everything about the game. I love the process. I don't just love fighting. I love the process. I love pushing myself, getting better, shit like that. So, I'll fight at 35, 45, whatever.
So is this fight with LFA, is it just like a one fight thing, or did they tell you that there's room for that if you get the win here, or?
It's just a one fight thing. Iridium does a good job of making sure ain't nobody signing no, like, multi-fight contracts or anything like that. They're looking after their guys. Thing is, I'm really not worried about it. Like, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna take care of business and do what I do. And when things happen, like, when things happen the way they're supposed to happen, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put on a show, and they're hopefully gonna want me back. And that's the goal that I have in mind. I'm gonna stick to what I do, put on a show, and good shit will happen. Hopefully that'll be the case.
All right, so before I let you get out of here, we all know, if you listen to our first episode with him, which you should, which the links to it are either you've seen them here on the screen or the link to the first one is in the description. I know you're a wrestling fan. Have you checked out any of the stuff that's been going on during this pandemic?
Bro, I gave it a shot. I couldn't do it, man. It's not the same, dude. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you know what I'm saying? How are you going to have a storyline going with no fans there, bro? That's the whole point. You got to feed off the fans. Like, how are you going to have a heel when no one's there to, like, bitch at them? That's the whole point. So, honestly, like, I'll just cool it until this shit's done. You know what I'm saying? I'll just wait. I'll wait till they got fans in there again and stuff like that. Then it'll be a little more entertaining. But until then, I'm good on it. But I do see AEW putting up numbers, though, man. AEW is coming in hot. I'm surprised.
They're trying, bro. To be honest with you, bro, Raw and SmackDown have really been rather hard to watch. Just fact. And I also don't think that it helps at all that, I don't know if you've seen all the stuff on Twitter about the speaking out thing, about all the guys that had gotten charged with, like, sexual assault type stuff, and it was crazy.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised the way things, like, bad shit's bound to happen when you're never with your family. You're always on the road. You're always doing shit. Like, the life that they live is crazy. So my utmost respect to those guys, because and girls, because they're all out all the time. They're on the road 24/7. You like motherfuckers lose their shit doing that.
Yeah.
So
It's been insane, dude. Like, you've had all this going on at one time, and like you said, Raw and SmackDown have been kind of harder. NXT and AEW, in my opinion, have still been good. And that's a question for you, too. Did you see that they brought in not only Mike Tyson, but Henry
Cejudo
and Belfort, and Rashad was out there, and hell, even Brett Rogers' old ass was out there, bro.
Hell yeah, I did. Everybody say hi to
about
Aspen,
that,
by the
man.
way.
Do you think it's a ripoff, or do you like it?
I mean, it brings more people to the sport. You know, it brings more people to watch, especially right now where they need as many eyes on the screen as they can get. Right now is the time to do shit like that, you know. And I wouldn't put anything past pro wrestling. Like, they'll do anything. They'll do anything for a storyline. So it is what it is.
Mike Tyson was cracking me up because I swear he was blowed when he was in the ring with Jericho. This motherfucker said ripped his shirt off, and he walks up on him, and if you watch the video, he's literally standing there with his chest in his face like this at him. I'm like, Mike, what are you doing, dog? Like,
What are you doing, bro?
like, what are you doing? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't care how much weed he smokes. I ain't trying to get hit by him.
Oh yeah, no chance, dude.
I don't give a shit how old.
So you can see Aspen.
I don't give a shit how old he is. I don't want nothing to do with it. Look at you.
Okay.
You brought in the co-star, your running buddy Aspen.
Oh yeah, dude. My little lady, she's tired. She doesn't even know it, but we're about to go put up a good 3-piece right now. With a little sauna suit action. To her, it's hot regardless. To me, it's hot just because I got the sauna suit on, but it's not as hot as it's been all week, so I probably won't get as much weight off, but it'll be fine.
It's
Well,
been a
man.
miserable week, man.
Hey,
What
dude.
was that?
What'd you say,
I
Corey?
said it's been a miserable week, man. I've been out working in it all week, sweating my ass off. Dude, I
No,
know.
yeah, it's been hot, man. The other day, every day, you know, it's like clockwork. We got our miles in. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that me and Aspen just hit 500 miles for this year so far. Just a couple of days ago, so that was pretty cool. But the day we hit it, actually, it was real hot. But I didn't really think to, like, I don't know. It's just routine for me to just hop outside and get on my run and shit. So I throw my sauna suit on and go outside, and I'm like half a mile deep. Me and Aspen are going. Her tongue's hanging way out, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Usually she doesn't even do that until we're on our way back, which is like a 3-mile run. And I think I never checked, like, thought to look at the weather. I look, it's 97 degrees, and when you have a sauna suit on, it cranks it up by 20 to 30. So I'm in at least like 120 degrees underneath that sauna suit, just dripping sweat. I lost like 6 pounds on accident. So it was some crazy shit, that's for sure.
Hey, man, if there's anything that this interview shows you, it's that this man has been putting in that work, and so has his running buddy Aspen. Like he said, you need to be following him at El Torro Guttierrez, correct?
Yes, sir, on Instagram.
Make sure you're checking him out at El Torro Guttierez on Instagram. Make sure you're following us at KO3C Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at Detroit Knockout, Detroit NOKOUT. And if you're in the market for a house, check out the homies at Stransky & Company Realty. They will hook you up. All the links to all their social media can be found on our website, ko3cpod.com. Email them at admin@stranskyandcompany.com. And until then, don't sweat your balls off. Peace.
Good idea.